The relegation from the Premier League on June 2024, Rob Edwards signed a 4-year deal with the Hatters to remain at the club. Despite losing a lot of players in the transfer window heading into the Championship season, such as Ross Barkley, Ryan Giles, Osho Ogbeni, Andros Townsend, all departed the club, and also long-term servant Luke Berry, who moved on to Charlton Athletic, leaving after 8 years in and around the club. However, money was spent on the squad and reinvested, bringing in the likes of Shayden Baptiste, Ruel Williams, Liam Walsh, Mark McGuinness, who was actually a record signing for Luton, Tom Krause, and experienced former Premier League winner Victor Moses. Luton began the season against fellow relegated side Burnley, who I believe actually finished lower than them in the Premier League. But unfortunately, the nightmare started off for Luton now. Luton Town ended up losing 4-1 at home to Burnley and went on a 5-game winless run, including a cup defeat in the EFL Cup to Queen's Park Rangers early on. However, after the international break, Luton Town did end up picking up some form as they went back-to-back wins against Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday. However, they couldn't continue their run, and after picking up only 1 point in the next 3 and failing to win against future relegation rivals Oxford United and Plymouth Argyle. Derby Day followed for Luton Town, and this probably find to be the biggest ray of sunshine in Luton Town's season, as they ended up winning 3-0. Yes, you heard that right, 3-0 against Watford, which was an incredible result. However, for Luton Town, as it's probably been already explained through this, you could probably tell they just couldn't keep up their good run of form. And they went 3 games without a win, a 2-1 home defeat to Sunderland, an away defeat 3-2 to Coventry, and a 1-1 draw to West Bromwich Albion. However, again, they bounced back, a huge 1-0 win to Cardiff, another fellow relegation rival at home, but followed was their biggest loss of the season in terms of goals conceded. They conceded 5 goals away to Middlesbrough, losing 5-1. And a mixed run during December and late November with 3 wins, 1 draw and 5 defeats followed in their last 9 games. As the saying goes, the table doesn't matter until after Christmas, which left them 19th in the league with only 4 points from 22nd place Cardiff City, who were just inside the relegation zone. However, after that followed a 2-game run of defeats after their, December, late November run, and Rob Edwards was sacked from the club following a 2-1 defeat to Queen's Park Rangers, which left them 20th, only 2 points ahead of 22nd place Cardiff. A quick FA Cup exit as they lost to Nottingham Forest 2-0. Sousa and Jota scoring for Nottingham Forest as Luton Town were knocked out of the FA Cup. However, heading into their next game against Preston, they would appoint a new manager. Manager Matt Bloomfield was appointed Luton Town boss after leaving Wycombe Wanderers to join the Hatters in the EFL Championship, signing a 3.5-year contract at the club. His first game was a 0-0 draw to Preston, and then they really did struggle on from that. After that, no new manager bounced for Luton Town as they went on a run of 8 games without a win, and including a Derby Day defeat to Watford away 2-0. And I remember doing a watch along for that on this channel. It's probably one of the worst performances I've actually seen from a Derby Day side. And that left them 24th in the league and 5 points away from safety. However, Matt Bloomfield did end up picking his first win up as Luton Town boss in a 1-0 victory against Portsmouth. However, followed that was a 4-0 defeat to later promotion candidate Burnley. But But, again, as I say about Luton, they always seem to bounce back after this. They went on a run of 5 games without a defeat, including 2 wins against Cardiff and Hull, fellow relegation competitors, and also picking up a huge point against later league winners, Leeds United. However, again, after that 5 game, they just couldn't continue that run against a team which were in really bad form, Blackburn Rovers, and they ended up losing 1-0 to Blackburn. However, the biggest game of Luton Towns, probably club EFL Championship status, comes up now against Derby County, a huge 6-pointer, with Luton Town 23rd after the 3 games I mentioned, sitting 23rd on 40 points, and Derby 21st on 43 points. A tight game ended in a surprise victory for the Hatters, in Ali scoring very early on. Crucial 2 wins followed at home, a 3-1 win against Bristol City and a 1-0 win against Coventry. And now we head into the final match day, game 46. Luton Town away to West Brom, sitting 21st in the table, 1 point above Hull in 22nd, and Plymouth in 23rd, and Cardiff in 24th, all relegated. Luton Town levelled on points with Preston, who were away to Bristol City, and Derby, who were at home to Stoke, with Stoke still being in the mix as well. With if Derby won, Preston won, and Luton won, and Hull won, Stoke City would be relegated. But this isn't about Stoke. And this game was in Luton's hands away to West Bromwich Albion. If they would have won, no matter what else would have happened elsewhere, Luton Town would be an EFL Championship club for next season. However, Luton's nightmare began here to managerless West Bromwich Albion, as they went a goal down in 7 minutes to Tom Fellows. However, a quick response from Luton, and Ali levelled up only 2 minutes later in the 9th minute. However, bad news for Luton. Despite when they made it level, big news came around the ground. Hull City were winning against Portsmouth. Matt Crooks with the goal for Hull away to Portsmouth. However, as we head in to the 30th minute, Preston also went a goal up away against Bristol City, and you felt like the emphasis was on Luton Town to win. However, unfortunately for them, West Bromwich Albion, despite they had nothing to play for, went 2 goals further ahead in quick succession, as Darragh Dickey in the 30th minute managed to make it 2-1, and then Tom Fellows only 3 minutes later managed to get his brace of the game and made it 3-1 as we head into half time. Hope for Luton Town, as Portsmouth ended up scoring to make it 1-1 against Hull. However, Hull needing to win. However, for Luton Town, they would go now 5-1 down with 2 very quick goals again. 57th minute, 61 minute from Callum Styles. However, and that would finish any hope of a Luton comeback, despite 2 late goals from Luton Town from Clark and Ali. Ali in the 88th minute to make it 5-3, and that is how the game would finish. However, Portsmouth and Hull were still playing. The news got around that the Portsmouth game had finished, and that finished 1-1, and Luton Town were relegated to League One. As Matt Bloomfield said, 1 game too many for Luton Town, as they couldn't manage to keep up their good run of form. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like on it, and please do follow, subscribe. Hope you all have enjoyed it. Have a great day, everybody, and yeah, take care. Thank you for watching, everybody.